Said, though, Eckler and Jackson will still be a major part of the offense.
At least this week, that's for sure. Thank you so much, Will. I mean, he didn't get paid, but he did get some money from Mark Wahlberg for Ballers. We saw him in that.
Oh, yeah. I did see him in that.
A couple cameos, but he does not have a new deal. Perhaps the boost the Chargers need, though, is Melvin Gordon. They've lost their last 2 games after winning their opener in overtime over the Colts. And with more on all things L.A., here's Omar Ruiz.
Good morning, Kay. Melvin Gordon has returned. He was out at practice yesterday with the Chargers for the first time since ending his holdout. And as fellow running back Austin Eckler said, the Chargers have some of their swag back. Head coach Anthony Lynn said, never say never, but he doubts Gordon will play in Miami on Sunday. I then asked Lynn what he wants to see from Gordon before he returns to game action.
Just his conditioning, just his agility, just to see where he's at. Those are things that you miss when you're not in football. I'm not concerned about the contact. He's played football all his life, but I just want to see where he's at stamina-wise.
Lynn also said that when Gordon does get back onto the field, he'll resume his starting role for the playmaking ability he has to get into the end zone. All the players I spoke with in the locker room yesterday said they're glad to have Gordon back. They understand his business decision to hold out and that he has nothing to apologize for. If he does not play in Miami on Sunday, the next opportunity for Gordon to return to game action is at home against the Broncos Week 5. For now, let's send it back to you in the studio, Kay.
Omar Ruiz, you are awesome. Thank you for giving us that perspective and that update. I think this team needs him. This Chargers team definitely needs him. You look at that game. They were up 17-7 recently against the Texans, Schrags. They managed to rush for just 25 yards in the second half. They could not protect their lead. That's where Melvin Gordon comes in big.
Yeah, and there is a light here because I spoke to folks in the Chargers organization. He showed up in impeccable shape. So he's there yesterday at practice. Looks good. The teammates are happy to have him, and there doesn't seem to be any ill will on either side. This is just money lost on Melvin Gordon. They've already told him, we're not negotiating the rest of the year. You'll play out your contract. We'll revisit this at the end of the season. Okay. They also told him, we're not trading you. So we know we're getting Melvin Gordon. We're not getting him this Sunday, though. He will play next week against Denver. He misses 4 game checks, and really, if they want to take him on the letter of the law by the CBA, they can dock him $30,000 every day he missed over the summer, which is about 40 days, and for 4 preseason games. They could dock him $2.4 million in fines, and then he'll miss $1.2 million in game checks.
Wow.
We'll see how that plays out.
Is
but the letter of the law.
for that, Schrags?
Yeah, that's the reason these guys don't technically go into the season, because once the season starts, it's real bucks. It's game checks you lose. Melvin risked it, and he's going to miss 4 games, which is 4 game checks. You usually don't see that money back.
It's a weird reaction to this. So many people on Twitter are either making jokes about his holdout or like offended as if it's their money he cost them. I have no idea why. Now that we're beyond that, the Chargers are getting one of their best players back, if not their best player. They're going to Miami. That's a win. Then they're playing Denver, who has no turnovers and no sacks on the entire season. Then they're 3-2. I mean, like, they're right in it. I learned a lot from Schrager last year. I think we all did, about what Anthony Lynn is capable of with this team and the pilgrimage they made literally around the globe last year. Again, no home stadium. I'm not giving up on them, especially now that they're getting Melvin Gordon. They'll change the team. I think in a couple weeks, we're going to be talking about the 3-2 Chargers, and Melvin Gordon's going to be a big part of it.
I like it.
Yeah, I do. Let me say it again for the people in the back, because you made a good point. People get offended like it's their money.
I don't know why it's so personalized.
I get it. You're a fan of the game, and I'm not taking that away from you. I appreciate a fan just like every other player does. But when players are trying to deal with these organizations who are trying to shortchange them for what they feel like they deserve, just let them handle their money. If the team can accept them as a fan, you can too. I will say this, though. In his absence, Austin Eckler played well. He stepped up. He was balling out. But he just wasn't Melvin Gordon. To your point, Kay, Melvin Gordon is a 4-down back. He is the king of the in-between a tackle. On the outside, he can catch the ball. When there's that 4-minute drill, you need to run the clock out. They have a guy that is a bruiser and can run downhill and do everything you need to do. And I do feel like this team is going to play better because it's when something new happens on the team, just the team rallies. Like, KB, you know this, whether it's your superstar player, a guy that's been banged up, now in the NFL, guys who have set out.
Quarterback off the bench, Daniel Jones,
Gardner Minshew, whatever it is, there's something about a new feeling. It's just like when you're with your wife and you go to a new place to eat, or you go to a new vacation spot, or you know what, you guys try something new.
Here we go.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Please talk about it. For the love of God, talk about it. Anyway, what were you saying, Nate?
Listen, what I'm saying is, when you spice things up, It
A
adds.
new recipe in the kitchen. What are you guys laughing
It
at?
adds.
The new cookbook we got.
It adds. Yeah, I'm talking about cooking in the kitchen, Kyle. But that's what I'm talking about.
Kitchen would be fine.
It makes things that
Yes.
much more interesting.
Called an
No team
impossible
always-
Eckler had some really great
Some
big
things are
plays,
impossible.
but down the stretch in these closer games, Melvin Gordon needs to get those tough yards, and he's capable
I
of
don't even know what
doing
Nate's
that.
point was. Melvin Gordon.
Last Friday, the Immaculate Reception was named the #1 greatest play of all time on the NFL Network original series, NFL 100 Greatest. Now the countdown shifts to the 100 greatest games of all time. So here's a look at one that we can tell you does, in fact, make the list.